Step into almost any major city on Earth and you'll encounter it, the familiar green and white siren, beckoning from street corners, airports, and shopping malls, Starbucks. Once a humble coffee bean seller, it transformed into a global icon, a ubiquitous symbol of comfort, convenience, and a certain aspirational lifestyle. But how did a simple coffee shop achieve such omnipresence? And perhaps more importantly, what happens when a brand, valued at nearly $39 billion in 2025, starts to see its reputation and customer recommendations decline, losing its top spot to a fast food giant like McDonald's? Is this the inevitable fate of all mega brands, a glorious journey from beloved local spot to an overpriced, soulless corporate machine, expertly extracting value while its core promise quietly erodes? This narrative isn't just about coffee. It's a cynical, data-driven autopsy of a brand. Dissecting Starbucks' journey from a visionary third place to a fascinating case study in the perils of unchecked expansion and the constant tension between corporate profits and brand soul. We'll explore how economic strategy can both fuel and fracture a brand, and how communication, both deliberate and accidental, shapes our ever-evolving perception of the siren's song. Let's rewind to the beginning, shall we? Seattle, 1971. Starbucks started not as a coffee shop, but as a purveyor of high-quality coffee beans. It was Howard Schultz, joining in the early 1980s, who truly envisioned what Starbucks could become. Inspired by Italian coffee culture, he saw a need for a third place, a comfortable space between home and work where people could connect, relax, and of course, enjoy a superior cup of coffee. This was a stroke of genius. In communication strategy, Starbucks wasn't just selling coffee. It was selling an experience, a lifestyle, a sense of community. This created powerful emotional branding, building a connection that went far beyond mere caffeine consumption. It wasn't about the cheapest cup, but about the ritual, the ambience, the consistent quality, and the personalized service from a friendly barista who hopefully knew your name. This early vision built an immense reservoir of brand equity, that intangible value derived from customer loyalty, recognition, and perceived quality. This equity would later prove to be its most valuable asset. The company's rapid expansion in the 1990s and early 2000s was a masterclass in market penetration. Starbucks seemed to pop up on every corner, each store meticulously designed to offer a consistent, comforting experience. This was crucial for reinforcing its brand identity. You knew what you were getting, whether you were in Seattle, London, or Tokyo. This consistency, coupled with aggressive growth, allowed Starbucks to implement a successful premium pricing strategy. Consumers were willing to pay more for a latte or a frappuccino because they weren't just buying coffee. They were buying the Starbucks experience, the comfortable chairs, the Wi-Fi, the background music, the sense of being part of a global tribe. Oh yeah, this was pure brilliance. Convince people to pay $5 for a beverage they could make for pennies at home, simply by wrapping it in a narrative of aspiration and comfort. Starbucks also prided itself on its perceived commitment to its partners, employees, and to ethical sourcing. It was among the first major corporations to offer health benefits and stock options to part-time employees, a significant differentiator that communicated a strong corporate social responsibility (CSR) message. They championed fair trade and sustainability initiatives, often communicating these efforts directly to consumers through in-store signage and marketing materials. This reinforced the image of an enlightened, caring corporation, further bolstering brand loyalty and resonating with a growing segment of socially conscious consumers. But here's where the siren's song started to hit some discordant notes. The very rapid expansion that fueled its economic success began to dilute the core brand promise. When a third place is on every corner, is it still special? Critics began to argue that Starbucks had become a victim of its own success, its ubiquitous presence leading to a homogenization that stripped away the unique, local charm of its original vision. The artisanal experience became mass-produced and for some felt increasingly soulless. Then came the deeper controversies, particularly on the labor economics front. Despite its touted benefits, Starbucks became a prime target for unionization efforts. This is where the tension between corporate benevolence and profit protection became glaringly apparent. While Starbucks consistently states its belief that employees are better served through direct management, unionizing baristas argue for better wages, more consistent hours, and stronger protections. The company's response to these efforts, which have involved numerous unfair labor practice charges and legal battles, has undeniably damaged its reputation for being a partner-first company. The contrast between the polished corporate messaging and the on-the-ground reality for some workers created significant brand dissonance. making it harder for the brand to fully leverage its CSR claims without a hint of sarcasm from onlookers. Starbucks has also had its fair share of crisis communication challenges. From controversial racial bias incidents in its stores leading to company-wide training closures to navigating complex social and political stances like its recent legal battles over union support for Palestine or even banning political names in South Korea, the brand often finds itself caught in the crossfire in an age where brands are expected to have a voice. Starbucks' attempts at brand activism sometimes appear opportunistic or, worse, hypocritical, further eroding trust among certain consumer segments. When a global brand tries to be everything to everyone, it often risks alienating significant portions of its audience. Despite these significant challenges, the Starbucks brand, stubbornly persists. Why? It's a testament to the immense brand equity built over decades and its sheer adaptive capacity. The introduction of mobile ordering, the highly successful Starbucks Rewards loyalty program, a brilliant application of behavioral economics nudging customers towards higher spend and repeat visits, and its consistent innovation with seasonal drinks, the pumpkin spice latte, anyone? Keeps it relevant. For many, it remains a comfort brand, a predictable, consistent experience in an unpredictable world. The very ubiquity that dilutes its third-place charm also provides unmatched convenience. Looking ahead, the Siren's song faces new competition. Smaller, genuinely artisanal coffee shops are reclaiming the local authentic narrative. Fast food chains are stepping up their coffee games with more competitive pricing. Starbucks, according to Brand Finance, saw its brand value decline 36% to $38.8 billion in 2025, falling behind McDonald's as the world's most valuable restaurant brand. This suggests that the market, and importantly, the consumer, is starting to notice the cracks more profoundly. The company's recent efforts to cut corporate jobs and focus on its Back to Starbucks strategy, aiming to improve the in-store experience and streamline operations, are a clear acknowledgement of these brewing challenges. In conclusion, Starbucks is a fascinating, if somewhat contradictory brand. It is a masterclass in how to build a global empire on the back of an experience, leveraging brilliant communication strategies and economic expansion. Yet it's also a stark reminder of the perils of success, the dilution of core identity, the inevitable clash between corporate profitability and employee well-being, and the challenge of maintaining authenticity when you're a multi-billion-dollar behemoth. The Siren's song continues to play, but its melody is no longer just about comfort and community. It's now a complex symphony of profits, protests, and the relentless pursuit of growth. And for those of us watching, it's a truly captivating social and economic experiment brewing in plain sight.